I'm very excited to finally be able to talk about this prelude. And as you reach the end of the Amateur Hour series, allow me just a brief moment of personal reflection. This was one of the pieces behind my decision almost like 10 years ago now to practice daily, to see what would happen if I were to consistently devote myself to playing the piano. And this was one of the pieces behind that decision. I had always loved it. It had always given me some trouble, and I really wanted to see what would happen if I were to be able to play it the way that I heard it in my head. And I'm happy to report we're almost there. I mean, it's still a pretty difficult piece, but after 10 years of practicing, I feel a lot more, I can play a lot more passively. Now, if the G major and D major preludes are the quintessential Well-Tempered Clavier preludes, I would say this is the highlight of the Well-Tempered Clavier. It's not as well known as the C major prelude, which kind of made its way into the cultural zeitgeist, but it is almost there. Especially for pianists, for classical musicians. I don't know how many of the other preludes are known. They're all hidden gems. But this one is not, it's a gem, but it's not hidden because it is much more well known. And it's not hard to see why. It skates by on that apocalyptic Bach feel that is so prevalent in a lot of his minor pieces. And it's one of those rare pieces of music that survives pretty much almost any interpretation because that like apocalyptic feel is so prevalent and so readily just accessible by pretty much anyone. It doesn't matter how you play it. Almost you can play it very slowly or much faster, staccato, legato. You can emphasize the outer notes or the inner notes. It survives almost any interpretation as long as you can keep that motor going. This drive of as long as you don't falter on that consistent motor, it's gonna sound amazing. So in this episode, let's focus just on the technique. Let me give young Dan from 10 years ago, well not young, but younger Dan from 10 years ago, some tips on how to practice it and how to get closer to the way that I had heard it in my head.